We're on Instagram under Hucknola, and we're on Twitter. You can find us there under Martha H. Huckabay. That's Huckabay. And yeah, we're going to keep on doing what we know how to do. Right, Dave?
Right.
All right, Dave, what you got for us?
Oh, all sorts of stuff.
Well, let's get going.
Well,
we'll wait
first-
for John Schroder to call in.
First, did you hear that there was yet another mass shooting this week? On Memorial Day in Florida at a beach or something like that. Two guys got mad at each other and just started shooting into the crowd. So
What?
of course, thank God nobody was killed. I think
Just shooting into the crowd.
7 or 9 people were injured, but nobody died. But of course, there were immediately calls for gun control from the Democrats, and I have to say, yeah, let's pass a law that makes it illegal to shoot randomly into a crowd. That'll fix that sort of problem.
Yeah, okay.
But wait, don't we already have laws like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's got to be a change of the heart.
Yeah.
The heart of people in America is, like the Bible says, deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. We've got a lot of wicked people. There needs to be a spiritual transformation. If they didn't have guns available, they'd use knives, they'd use rocks,
Yeah.
they'd use bombs, they'd use Molotov cocktails. It's just the attitude of murder in people.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine was talking to me today about an incident, which I haven't looked up, so we might want to look that up. But there were 2 women that were fighting, okay? And apparently this fight has been going on for 2 years. Now, you guys are going to have to go do your own research because I'm only giving this to you secondhand. And Shirley should be calling in and talking about it a little bit at about 5:30. But she was mentioning to me about these 2 people having a feud, and one had responded by throwing roller skates at the other person's kid, and I'm not sure the details of it, but regardless, it's behavior that no one's having self-control over their anger on each side, whomever they are, right? And you have to have some self-control and walk away. You can't allow people to continue to provoke you to anger and then act out on it. So the one lady whose child gets the skates thrown at her child goes and knocks on the other woman's door. So this had to be later on, knocks on the door, and the woman shoots her through the door.
From inside the house or
From
from us?
inside the house.
Well, I don't know. It depends on if the person inside saw what was going on and the person on the outside was obviously intending to cause bodily harm, they would be justified.
Well, in Florida, there's a law that says you can, if it's for self-defense,
Yeah.
you can do this, right?
It's called the castle doctrine. Your home is your castle.
Okay, so now the extreme leftists are calling this a racial issue, when it's really not a racial issue. It may be between 2 races, but it's not a racial issue. It's a personality conflict. It's between 2 people who are having a conflict with each other for quite some time, and they need to deal with whatever it is.
And instead of arguing, using words, punching each other, they say, let's go out and kill each other.
And they're using, they're fighting back with violence. It's not ending. So it's ended now because one woman killed, and she's not going to be charged because the lady went to her door and threatened her.
Yeah, if you're in your car and somebody's outside your car and they're yelling at you and screaming and all of that, you can't do anything. Now, if they take a weapon and they come at you, or if your window's open and they reach into your car, no, then you're justified legally in taking whatever necessary actions.
So we'll hear more about that in a little bit when Shirley calls in.
Oh yeah, well, many years ago when I was teaching in the classroom, somehow it came up, and I told the students, if I'm home and my kids are there and my wife is there and somebody's trying to break into my house, I don't know who's on the outside. I will shoot toward the noise, and I'll feel really bad afterward, but the person will be just as dead. If somebody's trying to break into your house, you are allowed to shoot them.
Yeah, that's right. It's called self-defense.
Yeah.
And you should be able to defend your family. And this is what we have as far as our Constitution goes. Criminals don't follow the law anyway. So
They don't?
No.
Oh, okay.
Criminals don't follow the laws. So they're going to do whatever laws we pass. They're not going to follow the laws. They laugh at it. It's a joke.
Yeah.
The laws are there for, to create a civilized society, but criminals don't follow that.
Yeah. Well, like the Bible says, laws are there for those who are law-abiding.
Right.
It's in the book of Romans.
Well, amen.
Well, we're in the midst of Pride Month. And what was the first sin ever recorded in the Bible before Adam and Eve?
I don't know.
That was Lucifer, Satan, Lucifer,
Oh,
saying,
that's right.
I believe it was in the book of Isaiah, I'm going to take God's place. I'm going to be like the Most High. I will ascend up to
That's right.
the heights. It was pride.
It was pride.
Pride is really the root of so many
That's right. We
sins
talked about that last week.
sins in this
Proverbs
world. And the
16:18.
Yeah, the Bible says, pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. How about if we have Humility Month, where we say, anything I am, anything I have, God gave me. I can't be proud about anything. It's all a gift from God.
Right, and let's honor our veterans for a month and do Pride for a day. How about that?
Yeah.
Let's flip it around. All right, this is Liberty or Lockdown. We'll be right back.
It's a little loud. It's a little loud.
I'm okay. Oop, turn mine off.
A little too. Back in the middle. That's good. Thank you. Okay, two women fighting during competition.
It's Jeff Carrere, host of Ringside Politics. I'd like to introduce WGSO General Manager, Mary Ann Guzman.
WGSO is locally owned and operated right here in New Orleans. We believe in cultivating local talent and emphasize local programs. If you have an interest in hosting your own program, then we have some prime spots available.
Thanks, Mary Ann. Folks, take advantage of this great offer. Email me at jeff@wgso.com or call me at 504-669-6076. Come fulfill your radio dreams at WGSO.
Who's on that line, you said?
WGSO. WGSO 990 AM is partnered with charitable
I got you.
rides and services, also known as CARS.
Rusty from
To donate your
Rusty?
truck, motorcycle,
Hadn't heard from him in a while.
or vote to our nonprofit organization. You may qualify for a tax deduction while supporting a cause that is near and dear to your heart. Simply go to WGSO.com and follow the link on our homepage. Vehicle donation pickup is always free to you, and most vehicles can be picked up within 24 to 72 hours. You'll receive an initial car donation receipt upon pickup, and then the CARS team will work to turn your car into cash to support our cause. Once your vehicle is sold, the CARS
You're
team will
live.
provide you proper tax forms in time to file. Your friendly donor support
I don't think John's
representatives are
calling
available
in.
7 days a week to assist throughout the process. Again, for more information, go to WGSO.com.
Hey folks, it's Jeff Carrere. Let me tell you about the best pizza in New Orleans. It's New York Pizza.
Yeah, they
Home
just
of the
said
apple, the delicious
we're gonna have to
cinnamon bread,
reschedule
and the pine and
next
slice.
week.
It's located at 4418
Okay.
Magazine Street in New Orleans, and on June the 9th,
Here's
they'll be
one
celebrating their
from
43rd
2020 about a woman
anniversary
shot to
with the
death
Laugh
after
Challenge.
roller skating.
If you can make the
That's a couple
owner of
years
New York
old.
Pizza, Wayne Delcoral, or his mom, Gail Delcoral, laugh, you could win $4,300. That's $100 for every year that New York Pizza has been in business. Join us for an event that we hope to be in the Guinness World Book of Records and raise money for 3 great nonprofit organizations: WGSO Radio, Grace at the Green Light, and Animal Rescue New Orleans. So mark your calendar for June 9th for the Laugh Challenge at New York Pizza. I'll be broadcasting live there that day, so come try to make the Del Corrals laugh, have some fun, support a great cause on June 9th at the Laugh Challenge at New York Pizza, 4418 Magazine Street, New Orleans. See you there.
Does your business need to boost sales or drive customer loyalty? Talk to Sir Speedy. Our direct mail pros will get your company in front of the right people with our comprehensive direct mail and mailing services. All you have to do is share your goals with us, and we can do
This
the
is
rest.
on,
Keep the ball rolling and send your
Bing,
next direct
search
mail
engine
project
from
to us.
Google,
Call Sir Speedy at
or from
504-586.
How to avoid reinforcing male versus female gender roles in kids.
That's 504-586.
The Bible says you should.
Do it.
reinforce them. Oh, here we go.
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Welcome back to Liberty or Lockdown. We are not going to take it anymore. This is why we play that, because it's upbeat, and actually we are fighting in the House, and we're doing our best as conservatives to push back against this agenda that's anti-family, anti-kids. I mean, we're going for the kids. They're going for the children now, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
You do know this, right?
Well, that song is by a group called Twisted Sister, and I certainly don't like everything they stand for, but they've been supportive of gay rights, okay, but you know, the transgender community is after them because they said something against transgenderism. Oh, evil, evil.
Right. Well, I mean, there's something to be said about mutilating children's genitals and parents not saying anything about it. I mean, what do they think? We're gonna be okay with this? That we're not gonna push back? Millions and millions of people are pushing back. It's not okay.
There is a bill which I'm sure you're going to be talking about this at some point, proposed in the Louisiana legislature that says you can't do the surgery and the puberty blockers and so forth on minor children under 18. Yeah, we don't let a kid go to the store and buy glue or certain cleaning products if they're under 18 years old, but we will let them go to a doctor and have their body parts cut off. That's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Kids are not mature enough to make that decision. Once they're 18, okay, fine. They're legally an adult. Now let them make the decision. But in many cases, from what I understand, don't have personal experience, those suffering from the gender dysphoria at a younger age often grow out of it. And those who have the transgender surgery, their suicide rate is very high because they were dissatisfied to begin with, and they thought, okay, if I cut off body parts, then I'll be satisfied, and it turns out they're not. They're just not happy in their own skin no matter what. Well, here's an interesting thing, too, that regards the state of Florida. Governor DeSantis signed a bill in Florida that said the same thing, that you can't do this surgery and beta blockers or puberty blockers or whatever on minor children. You have to wait until they're at least 18 years old to do it. So somebody filed a lawsuit, and this is amazing. There's a judge that has blocked the ban. He said, oh, no, you can't stop people from mutilating children.
Where's this at?
This is a judge in Florida. Let me see.
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder what DeSantis has to say about that.
Well, and so this judge that said, no, I'm going to block this from happening, he says, and I quote, gender identity is real. Well, I used to have a friend that was a judge in the Louisiana 4th Circuit Court of Appeals. He's gone now, off the earth. But my friend, he was a strong Christian, but there were cases that came up that had to do with abortion and so forth. And he said he was powerless to do anything about it because he couldn't follow what he thought was right. He had to follow what the law said. Okay? This judge is going exactly the opposite way. He is saying, I don't care about the law. My opinion is that there is, the gender identity is real. His name was Judge Robert Hinkle in Florida.
Well, what does he mean by gender identity?
You identify as this, that's what you are.
So whatever you choose to identify, that's what you will be?
So if that's the case, I identify as the person that's correct.
Your Majesty.
Yeah, that's right. But I also identify as the person that's correct. So if they can identify that way, why am I not allowed to identify this way?
So you're correct and never wrong.
That is correct. I'm never wrong. I don't know about you, but I'm never wrong. Now, saying gender identity is real, that's a matter of opinion. That hasn't been
That's correct.
established by that hasn't been established by legal precedent, by any sort of legislation. It's just this one guy's opinion that says gender identity is real. No, a judge can't do that. A judge is supposed to interpret the laws that are already in place whether the judge likes it or not. Now, of course, a law can be thrown out by the Supreme Court finally, but this guy he wasn't even throwing out any particular law based upon legal precedent. It was just based upon his opinion that, yeah, if somebody says they're a girl, they're a girl. If they say they're a boy, they're a boy.
Forget about what the Lord decided for you, right?
Yeah, have you noticed?
So Rhonda Butterfly says that's called gender dysphoria, in my opinion.
Well, this is something that really amazes me.
Which is a medical condition, right?
Well,
gender dysphoria has been declared a medical condition.
Nowadays, everybody.
Is it mental illness?
Well, everybody keeps changing their opinion. But there are people that say, I'm transgender and I'm a Christian. Okay, what you're saying is God has been making more and more and more mistakes in the bodies that he puts souls into. Oh no, I'm actually a man in a woman's body or a woman in a man's body, so God was wrong. I don't think God has gotten senile to where he's making millions and millions of mistakes. I think there's a demonic influence going on in this world today, and some of our listeners may be really getting mad at me right now, sorry. I believe that God is in charge of everything, and I believe there's going to be more and more deception in the last days, and it's going to be in all sorts of areas, including morals.
I think the Uganda president would agree with you. He made a statement about the United States not being a Christian nation, that we're a satanic nation.
I have to agree. When I was in India a few years ago, everybody had the impression that the United States is a Christian nation. I told them, no, the United States used to be a Christian nation. It's not anymore.
Right.
It's really an anti-Christian
You remember
nation.
when Obama said that?
What, that it's not a Christian nation?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I
Remember that?
Yeah.
I think maybe he was declaring something that was, because that's when the same-sex marriage went into effect, and the transgenders in the ladies' restroom laws passed, and I mean it just flipped. Everything flipped.
At the time, do you remember the Supreme Court issued its Obergefell decision legalizing homosexual marriage? And the homosexual community was saying, hey, what are y'all worried about? This is only to let us marry each other. It's not going to affect you in the slightest. Yeah, right. This is one of those things that's commonly called mission creep, where you start out doing one thing and then, okay, let's expand it, let's expand it, let's expand it, let's expand it.
Yeah, that's right. It's creeping. It's a landslide now. I mean, ever since Biden became president, we're full on. It's unbelievable. But yeah, you're right, Rhonda. God does not make mistakes. He's a perfect God. And when he creates man and he created woman, and these little bodies that come out of a woman's body are perfect. They're made in the image of the Lord. And it's a beautiful thing, and there is no mistake. It's a male or a female, and we strongly agree with that.
And it's really amazing the number of females that say, oh no, I identify as a male. Well, I don't know how many there are. It seems like there's a whole lot more males identifying as a female so they can compete against women. But the females identifying as a male, do you have any idea what a privilege it is to bring a new baby into this world? I have to agree. We men will never experience that. Okay, we can father a child, but we don't have that child come out of the inside of us. That's such a privilege.
Yeah, I was hearing one of the well-known social media people saying that he's on his 5th child, and he got to see how God creates babies from a woman, and it's the most beautiful thing, and it's a miracle.
Oh yeah.
And it is precious to see that. So it's a blessing to be you creating life from life, right?
Yeah.
Well, this is Liberty or Lockdown, and you are welcome to go onto our social media page at libertyorlockdown.live. We'll be right back.
You want to talk to Matthew?
Dave, you're doing good.
You want to talk to Matthew?
Matthew? Yeah, we'll take Matthew. Rusty first. He hung up? Okay. Oh, I sent you an email. ESG Scores, Extort Corporation? Yeah.
See a guy in a blue shirt.
Yeah.
which can be especially tough on students.
He's not long, the video. Does it show you how long it is?
No, I don't, they don't
Okay.
have the little time on.
Our organization puts caring adults inside schools to help vulnerable students stay in school. Now, in the face of crisis, we're working beyond school walls, delivering meals to students, helping them access remote learning, and doing whatever it takes to help them succeed. To learn more, visit communityschools.org.
Some people in the Louisiana legislature want to forbid the teaching of critical race theory in our school. That theory says that if two babies are born today, one black baby and one white baby, that the white baby is the mean racist oppressor of the black baby, and that the black baby is the weak, incompetent victim of the white baby. Unbelievable. Those people say that the innocent white baby by his DNA is bad and racist, and the black baby by his DNA is a weak victim who can never succeed. Only a total fool would believe or accept this idiocy. Yet they want to teach this foolishness to Louisiana's young people. Please call your legislator today and raise some sand.
This is Kate Delaney from America Tonight. The show kicks on at midnight, and I'm loving the overwhelming support in New Orleans. What a group of fantastic listeners here on WGSO 990 AM. Join me every morning to catch up on what I call the buzz in your backyard and mine. You'll hear some of the most interesting people on the planet from the world of business, politics, sports, and, well, just intriguing people with a story to tell. If you're around, give us a call. Don't worry, I'll spit out the number plenty of times on the air. Let's agree to meet at midnight right here on WGSO 990 AM in New Orleans.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm Brooke Farrington. Lawmakers have sent a bill to the governor that phases out the corporate franchise tax, some call it the worst tax in Louisiana because of how it hampers companies who have headquarters outside of the state. Tax consultant Jason DeQueer says the phase-out only happens if certain conditions are met.
Basically, the state would have to collect over $600 million in corporate income and franchise tax. If it does that in any year that we do that, it would reduce the tax by 25%.
WGSO.
Says phasing out the tax would cost the state up to $163 million per year over the 4-year phase-out. The U.S. Supreme Court has ruled Alabama is violating the Voting Rights Act by having only one majority-minority congressional district. Louisiana's congressional district map is also facing a legal challenge, so based on the Alabama ruling,
Shirley, she calls every now and then.
Redraw its map with a second majority-minority district because more than 30% of the state's population is black.
So I put Matthew on.
Building our dream home.
We'll get Matthew first, and then we'll get Shirley.
Rusty's not there?
Rusty's not there.
All of the components are newer components.
Look at this. Did you see this?
On the regional wall. I was able to put my leather shop in there. I primarily build working shafts for the working cowboys. And so that barn is kind of giving me a man cave to do my work in. I love seeing it from the road as I'm pulling the driveway.
Find out more at WheelerINC.com.
If you're a Medicaid member, changes are coming that could cause you to lose benefits. The good news is you may be eligible to take part in a special enrollment event and qualify for a plan for less than $10 a month. If you need assistance, contact Navigators for a Healthy Louisiana today. We provide free guidance to help you choose the health insurance option that's right for you and your family. To find out more, visit getcoveredla.org. That's getcoveredla.org.
Hi, this is Martina McBride. When I'm on stage performing, it takes a team of talented people from all walks of life to make the show a success. I couldn't do it without everyone's help. When we embrace diverse backgrounds and together as one, there's no challenge or problem too big to overcome. Our strength lies in our diversity.
This public service message has been brought to you courtesy of the United States Air Force.
It's the second video. If we have time, we'll play it in the last segment.
You got another video that you want to play?
After, if we have time.
All black people are inherently racist, and that Louisiana is a racist state, and that America is a racist country. Them old bars of two chicken will stand up all together. They ought to be put out on the chicken farm.
Hi, this is Kevin Carr, host of Fat Guys at the Movies. Listen
will still be discussing and debating the hot topics.
And take your phone call.
You can listen to us on 990 AM, WGSO, WGSO.com.
And find out who's right. Of course, that's me.
No, of course, that's me. I've been doing this 22 years, Mimi.
Practice makes perfect.
So you see, we'll have plenty to talk about on He Said, She Said,
Wednesdays at home.
right here on WGSO.
You might be afraid to speak out for fear of canceling culture or losing your job. Mr. Garrett Show on WGSO is your platform. Noon to weekdays right here on 990 AM.
Tune in at 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. Herb's Louisiana Live, coming in hot. State government shenanigans and business and only on.
Back on.
5, 4, 3, 2.
All right, good times never seem so good. I'm still MAGA, Trump 2024. I don't know about you, Dave, but I still believe in him, and I'm certainly not changing over. I think DeSantis needs to wait his turn. I think he needs to, do the best that he could do as governor in Florida as long as he can, and allow that process to play itself naturally.
Well, I'm still looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of my faith.
Well, so am I, Dave, but this is a political show. And I do love the Lord. He does come first, but anyway, that's not what I was saying, Dave.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so what were we talking about, Dave? I know we have 2 callers on the line. Want to go ahead and let's get
Matthew?
Matthew? Woo!
Oh,
no, Matthew. You
no.
got it road, Lois. Can't handle that.
Okay.
All right, let's go to Shirley. Shirley, are you there? Oh, there's Matthew. We got both. Okay, you guys hold on one second. Let's take Matthew first, and then we'll take Shirley. Hold on, okay?
Okay, Matthew.
Go, Matthew. Right. Yeah. I don't think so.
Okay.
Wow. So, well, no, it's okay. He's telling the truth. He's not being vulgar. He's just telling you a fact. He's saying that those surgeries aren't really what they're saying that they are, and they're mutilating the body. So you go and get those surgeries, and it's not what you're being sold.
Right.
And it is a deception. It is a horrible deception.
Well, I'm going to have to go with what you're saying. I have no personal
Okay, so
information.
Rhonda on our live stream is saying that they can't hear the caller. So for some reason, the caller's not being heard. Can you hear me, Rhonda? Because I want to get Shirley on there. You're right, Matthew from Metairie. It's thank you. It's heinous.
Yep. So Shirley on?
Shirley, are you there? I can hear you loud and clear. We're doing great. For some reason, the social media is not being able to hear the callers. I'm sorry about that, you guys. There's some technical difficulty going on. I don't know why you can't hear the caller. You should be able to hear the caller because we're connected to the board.
Go ahead.
But Shirley, go ahead. Let's talk. I know, what's the latest and greatest? What are you thinking about this ESG? Or I know you and I had spoken prior about a few things. Tell me what's on your mind.
All 3 are ProStream webcam.
Okay, hold on a second. So for those of you that can't hear the caller, she's saying that she had looked into the topic that we talked about earlier about the one woman throwing skates at the child, and so there's two sides to this story, like they always are two sides. So you got to keep digging deep, and don't make a decision, because eventually the truth's going to come out. We'll see, who the aggressor was, and was it self-defense, and well, we know the woman should never have gone to her house and knocked on the door. So what else do you know about that? Mm-hmm. Hmm. So this, right, right. So what the caller is saying is that it's not it shouldn't be considered a race issue. It should be considered a relationship issue. The two women didn't get along. They had a volatile relationship, and the media is making it a race issue. And so we need to just kind of dig deeper into this topic and see what's really going on. But what's the law over there? Stand your ground law in Florida. And so the lady is actually probably going to get off on shooting the woman through her door because she was standing her ground.
Well, if she could make a reasonable case that she felt that her life was threatened. Now, if the person's on the other side of the door, I don't know, it might be a little bit questionable.
Mm-hmm. Well, Shirley, since our callers can't hear you on the live stream, we're going to go ahead and let you go. Thank you so much for calling in. Dave, what else do we have?
Oh, we got so much stuff. Do you remember the thing about the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence? I believe that's still going on. The LA Dodgers, I'm not sure if their Pride Night has happened yet, but there's a group out there of transsexuals who go out there with
mocking nuns.
Mocking nuns, yeah, and one of them, they have all sorts of names that are kind of like the roller derby names.
Where are the Catholics? Why aren't they on an uproar?
Yeah, really. So anyway, the homosexual people got offended because the Catholic people got offended. Well, how many are there more of? The Catholics or the homosexuals? But the rule of the minority has prevailed, and from what I understand, they are going to go ahead with this blasphemous, insulting presentation by these men dressed as women.
Let's see how that goes over for them.
Yeah,
really. That'll be another Bud Light and Target dilemma. The debacle. I mean, that's what's going to happen here. You know that, right?
It was so bizarre that one of the homosexual groups said, "We just want to be left alone." Yeah, the Catholics would like to be left alone too. Mm-hmm. Oh well.
Right. Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and play that ESG Scores Extort Corporations video. Our producer's going to put that on, and then we'll have a little conversation about this, because it actually has to do with the corporations that this was exposed from the banning of Bud Light, or should I say, when people boycotted Bud Light, the more these companies and Target, the more people were boycotting them. This is something that came up out of it and was exposed, and it's called ESG Scores. They extort corporations. Go ahead. Oh, we're going to play that video in just a second for you. Here you go. Turn it up a little. So there you have it. That's what's happened. We can go ahead and shut that video off.
So they're saying that there's going to be a social credit score, and I imagine the liberal organizations are going to score very high, and the conservative organizations are going to score very, very low.
Yeah, you know, we actually had a girl, Tracy, who was trying to give me a social credit score for not having my state license or whatever updated, which is $35, so apparently I forgot to pay it. But so now I have an app, Liberty or Lockdown has an app, and she put it on our social media. I banned her from our social media. I don't hear from her anymore. All right, this is Liberty or Lockdown. We'll be right back.
You heard about Moms for Liberty has been declared an anti-government extremist.
No. What happened? Where's that?
I was listening to your show.
Oh,
did you talk about, did you show the NAACP as the travel advisory for Louisiana?
Yeah.
Oh, you
and
talked
Florida.
about that already?
I heard about Florida. I didn't know about Louisiana.
No, Louisiana, and it's for, specifically, it's not for African Americans, it's for LGBTQ African Americans.
What?
Because our legislature is passing bills that give parents rights over the interests of the LGBT community.
What a horrible thing.
Oh, it's the biggest thing going on. So,
wait, so tell me.
The NAACP is trying to really recover its lost luster. Remember, and back in the day, it was a big deal. Yes, now they're trying to come back on Florida and all these other ridiculous things where people who live there are happy as pigs in poo. But check it out, NAACP Travel Advisory for Louisiana. But it's just for the LGBTQ members of the NAACP.
Really? Okay, we're gonna have to check that out. Louisiana NW chapter has asked for travel advisory. Here it is. Daily Caller.
Hey, it's Christian. When it comes to buying appliances, buy where the builders buy, and that's at DTS Appliance Direct. Shop local, don't go to big box.
Chapter asked for travel advisory over GOP bill. What?
DTS Appliance Direct has plans for GE.
Thank you for that info.
And many more. DTS Appliance Direct, 504-766-0733.
African American LGBTQ people should use extreme caution when visiting the state, according to a letter released. Oh my God, you're kidding me. That's crazy.
Grace needs to restock its free clothing closet for the unsheltered with new or gently used menswear. Donations accepted Tuesday and Saturday mornings, 7 a.m. to 8
What?
a.m. at 1526 Aretha Castle.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
graceatthegreenlight.org.
Here we go.
5, 4, 3, 2.
All right, welcome back to Liberty or Lockdown. I'm smiling over here because the secret fan of our show just shared some information. We're going to go right to it. Louisiana NAACP chapter asked for travel advisory over GOP bills. Has to do with the GOP, which is the good old party, supporting and defending parental rights. So now Louisiana. So listen to this. The Louisiana NAACP chapter requested a travel advisor be issued by the National NAACP and warned African American and LGBTQ people should use extreme caution visiting the state, according to a letter released on Wednesday.
I think that what they're upset about is that the Louisiana legislature has acted to ensure parental rights over their children. And I think most black parents would agree with that.
Yeah.
But anyway, the tyranny of the minority again. You know, if you're gay, you know Louisiana is not a dangerous place for you to visit. The whole French Quarter of New Orleans, you know, is very gay friendly, but they're just trying to assert control, I guess. And something very similar to that, different group, but I'm sure there's some overlap, the Southern Poverty Law Center, SPLC. They have declared Moms for Liberty as, quote, an anti-government extremist group.
Right, so Moms for Liberty are now a terrorist group.
Yeah, because
That's
they
crazy.
want parents to have say over the raising of their children.
That's unbelievable. I mean, anything good is bad, and anything bad is good, or anything moral is immoral, and anything immoral is moral.
I think you're quoting from the book of Isaiah, aren't you?
Probably so.
Woe to those who call good evil and
yeah.
evil good. That's exactly what's going on. If you believe parents should have rights to raise their children, you're evil. If you believe the government should have rights to raise their children, you're good.
I don't know. So I don't, you know, most of the black people here in New Orleans, in Louisiana, they're not okay with all of this transgenderism and this. And I'm not talking about the individuals who choose to do with their life in their bedroom and in their lives privately, okay? We all have members in our family who are gay, and we love them with all of our hearts, and we equally respect each other, and we can agree to disagree, but we have respect for one another, right?
But
this is the movement. This is the LGBTQP movement.
To take away the rights from the parents.
Exactly. This movement doesn't trump your parental rights. And so, you know, I do not agree with the movement. Now, what you do with your life on your individual basis is your business. It's not my business. And I like to keep it that way.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So what's next, Dave?
Well,
now that we discovered that, we'll keep an eye on the NAACP.
We still have so many things. This country is run by people that hate this country. What goes? There was an incident that just happened a few days ago, I think about 3 or 4 days ago, where there was a children's choir that went to the United States Capitol and began to sing the Star-Spangled Banner. The police shut them down. They said, you have to have permission. They did have permission. The Speaker of the House had authorized these kids. And the police said, well, we don't know anything about that. So they shut down the authorization and stopped the kids in the middle of singing the national anthem because they said someone might find this offensive. This is in the United States Capitol, the national anthem of the United States of America. And the kids were stopped by somebody in authority in the Capitol Police. How ridiculous is that?
The same Capitol Police that, you know, shot at Ashley Babbitt and killed her.
Yeah.
The same Capitol Police that were a part of the Fedsurrection, January 6th Fedsurrection, because it certainly wasn't an insurrection. Nancy Pelosi and all of them, and the FBI, the criminal FBI, were a part of that Fedsurrection. And those January 6ers, they're all over Twitter. We're going to have a few of them in the next coming few weeks to, you know, at least give them a voice. There's over there's like 1,000 of them, and they're more. They're putting more in prison and more in jail.
I don't know how many, but okay.
There are quite a few. It's sad stories. These are husbands or wives that are being ripped from their families and put in prison, and then giving false sentences, or, you know, they're raising the sentences and making them stay longer, some of them 18 years.
Well, and then there are still many of them that haven't had the trial.
That's correct.
And they're still waiting in prison.
And we're talking about America.
Wait, I thought you were talking about maybe North Korea.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it sure sounds like that.
So what
Well,
you...
could I bring in one more really interesting thing? Who was in a very close contest with LaToya for the worst mayor in the United States?
Beetlejuice.
No, well, yeah, okay. Lori Lightfoot of Chicago, and if you see Beetlejuice, you know what Martha's talking about. Okay, Lori Lightfoot lost the election badly, okay? So, poor Lori, you know what she's doing now?
What?
She's just been appointed to teach at Harvard.
Harvard.
She's going to teach at Harvard in the School of
Harvard.
Public Health, Harvard University, which started as a Christian university several hundred years ago. Boy, you talk about a liberal place, you know, so far left wing, they've fallen off the edge of the earth.
Send your children to Harvard.
Oh.
It is woke. You'll be losing $100K. No, how much?
I don't know.
500,000. It's
I
a
don't know.
lot. It's a lot of money just to indoctrinate your kids and put them in the system. It would not be good. It's not a good idea. Don't do
But if they go, make sure you get them into Lori Lightfoot's class where they'll really learn what's right and wrong.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I'm speechless right now. Beetlejuice at Harvard University. What the heck is going on? Harvard's going to fund themselves just like Bud Light and Target.
Speaking of Target, you know, the people that are in charge, the board of directors, I guess, they're not satisfied to just trash their own company. To me, the mission of a retail organization should be sell stuff.
Right.
And make a profit for your stockholders. They don't care about the stockholders. The value of the stock is down, what, $15 billion or so, but I
That's
guess...
that's what happens to you when you sell men's bikinis with weenies.
So they also, yeah, I'm ignoring that. They also support a group that's called the NDN Collective, which has over a $50 million revenue stream, and these guys want to do things like shut down Mount Rushmore and kick Israel out of Israel and give it back to the Palestinians and defund the United States military. Target is supporting these guys.
Yeah.
Don't you love Target? I haven't gone there in years, ever since they said men can use women's bathrooms.
That's exactly when I stopped going to Target myself.
But
I find other ways to get whatever I need. I just don't go there.
I don't know why anybody still shops at Target. Maybe they'll sue us, who knows?
Who, us?
Yeah, get us some good publicity.
Oh my goodness, I don't think so, but anyway, we will continue to pray that, you know, those who do try to sue us, the Lord will provide and we'll be covered and His angels will warfare for us. What do you think of that?
So I think we've both been very politically incorrect today. Oh no.
No, not you and I, Dave.
Yeah, right.
So the ESG scores are not something that's going to help us out. So we had somebody by the name of Tracy Burke try to give me one, and I have a big F right now, so that's not surprising. I mean, I've been cancel cultured by the right. The Federation has canceled me. Now I got a big F on my social credit score. Think I'm doing pretty good. I don't know. What about you, Dave?
Poor baby. They haven't figured me out yet.
All right, so this is Liberty or Lockdown. You can find us on www.libertyorlockdown.live, or you can go to WGSO.com. Thursdays at 5 p.m. We're here every Thursday, and you can click that donate button. Also, we're going to have some stars. Give us some stars and give us $1 or $2. Help us to pay for the airtime. All right, the Lord bless you. See you next Thursday.
I couldn't see anything under audio about using the line feed. It was just the camera microphone. There's also, used to be the line feed, which was what was coming through the studio audio, but it wasn't one of the choices under settings.
There used to be a line feed?
Maybe BJ would know something about that. Broadcast.